this is Tiffany Vladi, and today I am making a video about how when you're trying to escape the narcissist, they will make you feel bad about doing it. So, which basically the term for them coming after you is hoovering, just like the vacuum cleaner. But how exactly do they hoover? And see, the trick is that they make you feel bad and responsible for anything positive that they've ever done for you. And that includes anything from a zero calorie Powerade, all the way to a bag of potato chips, all the way to a little bit of fruit, anything. If they get you the smallest thing of perfume, if they get you anything, they're going, the food, if they buy you some food, if they buy you lunch, if they buy you dinner, just realize that, if you are going through this, that's probably why you looked this video up, or anything on the radar of a video about how a narcissist will make a codependent or a victim or an empath, if you're an empath, feel bad. They will, I am telling you, I have, the only thing I know is to give examples, and I do not do this out of vengeance. I honestly do not even want, anybody my exes or anybody, that I talk about, I don't even want them to see my videos, to be quite honest. And honestly, the reason for that is empathy. I feel bad, even though I know what they did to me was wrong. The only time that I fight, that I'm like, no, that's enough, is when I imagine my inner child. And when I imagine is the only time I feel bad for them is when I imagine my inner child. And I imagine that little girl. For you, it might be a little girl, little boy, binary, just a child, period. It doesn't even matter the sex. But anytime I imagine that child, I think of everything she went through already. And it's like, okay, you know what? And the further away that you may get from the narcissist, here's the thing. The second you realize, oh my God, who is this person? You may, and you've tried to set boundaries. You've tried to communicate, and you're realizing, oh my God, I don't even know who this person is. And you're probably, if you're looking this up, I already know you're an empath, you have feelings and you feel for other people, and you may be codependent, obviously, but the thing is, I'm codependent and I'm an empath, and even cutting off people that I'm have hurt me tremendously. I'm like, oh, but I can't, if I just cut them off, it's gonna hurt their feelings. And I imagine immediately how they would feel. I imagine immediately, how they feel. And here's the thing, what you have to realize is they are planning on you, imagining you and me, any codependent or empath, or any human being with decency and who thinks about the fellow man, not just themselves. They're going to use every single thing to make you feel bad. Once they realize that you are trying to escape them, once they realize you are trying to escape them, I only have two really great examples of people who have, well, many more than that. But let me just go and I'll figure out what I feel comfortable with. By the way, I'm wearing my Marilyn Monroe Trust No One, but it's really the Chanel. I mean, I don't really mean trust no one, but I just thought it was funny. How about trust no narcissist? That's what it should say. So I'm going to give examples. And I know one person, two maybe watching me. One is probably definitely stalking me already. Last week, I was supposed to literally fulfill and show up for a restraining order. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I could not bear doing that to somebody who this could follow them. What if it shows up? Like, what if this follows them at some point? I felt like terrible. And then, like, this person, most likely a narcissist will, if you block them, my advice is immediately block them, right? But here's the thing, a narcissist usually hates to give up and will follow you and maybe make up other numbers. For my example, this person has made up probably a total of 8 numbers. And that is after they came up with 2 other numbers other than their original number. So, when they contacted me again and again and again, oh my God, I felt, and you know, here's the thing. They contacted me, and here's what a narcissist will usually do is apologize, but it's like glazed with, but you did this, and so that's why. And so you're gonna be like, oh my God. It's gaslighting. That right there is when somebody's like, when you confront somebody and say, hey, this is really bothering me, I need to talk with you about it. Gaslighting is when they go, no, but it's not my fault. I only did that because you did that. And I'm not saying like you can never say to somebody, hey, like you can never stand up for yourself or defend yourself, or you can never complain and say, hey, you know, this bothers me, and somebody may tell you, well, I'm sorry, this is why, and you may still have a problem with it. But there's a whole different atmosphere, if you will, that a narcissistic person, how about, you know what, it could be a narcissist, or they could just be toxic, or maybe they are just not good for you. Because I think a lot of people, I know what I did was constantly, I was like, are they a narcissist? Are they toxic? And it's like, yeah, they probably are. But I would wait for like confirmation to feel relieved from responsibility, almost like responsibility for their behavior. So anything they do, food, if they buy you dinner, like they'll be like, well, you're not gonna have sex with me? I bought you dinner. You're not gonna do this? I bought you chips. I bought you a 0 calorie Gatorade. How dare you? And you're like, huh? And like, slowly you may be being gaslit and you don't even know it. You're just like, well, they did buy me something, and you may be a good human being, and so you're like, well, they did buy me some zero power calorie Gatorade. They did. Oh my God. No, you're right. They bought me dinner though. I feel really bad. Like, they may throw all sorts of things your way. Anything they bought you. Usually they shower. They love bomb with gifts. And the second you turn away and you set a boundary, the second, like, look, you can set 18,000 freaking boundaries like I did. And then they'll come at you and they'll be like, well, this only happened because you did this, this, and that. And you're like, but wait, no, none of that would have happened unless you did this, this, and that to me first. So they will catch you. And your mind, cognitive dissonance. I keep bringing this up because I know gaslighting is horribly confusing. You'll feel confused. You'll be like, but did I? Do I owe them? But they offered. I didn't know they were going to turn into this. I never imagined this would happen. But I told them, like, I couldn't do this, that I couldn't pay for this. Or I wouldn't be, no. And they were like, oh, no worries. I got it. And then you're like, then the second they try to go up your skirt or they try to force you to do something sexual that you don't want, or they try to force you into different things that you do not agree with and you don't feel comfortable with, that is what they're trying to do. They are now going to use their love bombing, and you're going to be like, but wait, at least not you. I don't want to say you. I was like, but wait, he bought me a Powerade. He bought me food. I can't do this to this person. But the thing is, I do make YouTube videos and I'm trying to help people. And now that I've gathered this knowledge, I clearly want to help other women or men who are being abused. So if they just remember, the second they see that you are breaking away, that may be the exact second that they're like, oh yeah? Okay. And they have a bag. Imagine, like, they have a bag full of what they did for you. And there comes, like, well, I did this, I did that. And the excuses. That's the most dangerous part of this all, is you'll be confused. You'll be like, well, they apologized and they said that they, like, really love me and that they only meant to do the best for me, and they'll make excuses. I swear to you, find a friend. Find as many friends that you know you can trust, who make sure they know what narcissistic abuse is. Make sure they know what gaslighting is. If anything, like I said, watch the movie Gaslight. You're going to have to type it in onto YouTube because it's black and white. And you type in full movie and you're going to see. The guy dims the lights, and he acts like he loves her. He holds her head, he cradles her, and she's like, oh, but, the lights. And he's like, oh, my dear, it's all in your head. Like he's really there for her. And in reality, he is the one dimming the lights and then jumping into play like he's freaking Shakespeare or Romeo. And he's like, to Juliet, I have you. Don't worry, like, you're safe in my arms. And I swear to God, I have been so I've gone back and forth to gaslighting narcissists in relationships. It's like a pattern. And I'm telling you, that is why I suggest listening to songs that are written specifically to men, or you can make them women. If you're a man or non-binary, you can make whatever sex. Just listen to breakup songs, empowerment songs. Talk to a therapist. Talk to good friends that you know are smart and they know you, because they will be able to be like, whoa, this is weird. This is weird. I don't like what they're doing to you. This isn't normal. And you may be like, but they did buy me a Powerade and a burrito the other day. How can I leave them? That right there, I don't care. It may be like, I spent $20,000 on you. No amount of money is worth your sanity, and no amount of money is worth somebody throwing it in your face and making you feel like you owe them your life. So, thank God. I mean, I'm just like recording this because this is what I've been through. And so, you know, they're going to do a lot of love bombing and do a lot of things for you. I'm like, oh my God, I've never felt this way. I've never had anyone do this for me in my life. I really think we were soulmates. They keep telling me we're soulmates, and you're like now convinced. Because they love bombed you. Or they told you we're soulmates. And you're like, yeah. Wow. I mean, they think we're soulmates. So, if you were trying to break free and they come hoovering, see, I can make a hoovering video where they just text you on Christmas, they text you every couple months, on your birthday, blah, blah, blah. But hold up. When they're so freaking like stealth about it, like a snake, but they come like an angel of light, right? Just like the devil comes. He doesn't come with horns and tail. He comes as an angel, and then he goes, but I bought you. I spent all my savings on you. I did this. I bought you a Powerade. But how dare you? I did this for you. I did that for you. And you're like, oh my God, they did. But they did do that for me. And then you're like confused, and you're just like in this world. And you're like, but they did do that. But they did do that. Oh, well, they did that too. What am I doing now? And now they've got you. It's like a tornado of confusion. And you're like, I'm not saying you as in you. I'm saying you in general. I, me, whoever can be now sucked in. And that person is now like, but I thought that they were mistreating me. But now when I confronted them about mistreating me, now here's another part. If you confront them about mistreating you, they will most likely come up with excuses for mistreating you. It's always just like a little bit of like taking credibility, but the rest is like on you. But I tried, and you know I'm a good person. They'll say things like this, and you know I love you, and you know I'm this, and that, and most likely, they'll probably like brag about if they have degrees in any field that is respectable, they'll probably brag about that and mention it, but they'll mention it. But in reality, it's like they're mentioning it just to put it into your head. And so then you end up like, maybe I should bring them back. Maybe I imagine the whole thing. It's almost like if you've ever seen police confession tapes on Netflix or Making a Murderer, it's like when the cops get in your face for hours and they're like, you did this, admit to it and it'll all be over. And they're like, no, I didn't. And then finally, if you watch confession tapes on Netflix, finally the person's like half down in the chair, like shoulder down. And they're like, okay, fine. Yeah, it happened. Yeah, I was there. They shot him. Yeah. Thinking like it would just end it. That's gaslighting. Literally, if you watch police interrogate, they're usually gaslighting because, well, I don't want to say usually, but a lot of times cops have learned how to technically gaslight people who they believe there are good cops. But if you watch confession tapes, you'll start to be like, I can't even handle this. I don't even know how this person is still in the chair. And by the end, I mean, think about it. Like 30 hours of like interrogation, 18 hours, 30 hours. They're like, I'll say anything. And it may sound crazy to somebody on the outside, but in reality, the mental stress, the psychology of the mental stress and the accusations, you're like, whatever. Yeah, I did. I was there at the murder. Yeah, I saw him shoot him. Yeah, I was right there. I watched the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. Whatever they tell them to say, they end up saying. So they're finding out that psychologically, this is a thing. That you put somebody under the microscope for so long and you put pressure on this person over and over. They're just like, by the end, you wear them down. The cops will wear them down. And this is exactly what a narcissist will do, is wear you down with everything they bought you. If they took you on a shopping spree, now guess what? It's on you. And how dare you? And now guess what? You owe them your entire life. You owe them your body, your mind, your presence. You owe them to, you should now date them because they bought you something. But the whole thing was planned. And I don't know that like a normal human being can really like think about, my God, but how do you do that to someone? Don't try to figure it out. Because if you're an empath or a normal, good, human-hearted being, you're gonna spin yourself into circles. So, if you're trying to escape and you are being hoovered and the hoovering videos aren't quite doing it for you, and you're like, well, they text me, but what did they say? And if now they're throwing in your face what they bought you, how they did all this stuff for you, how dare you leave them, like, look at all they've done for you. Look, there's obviously strings attached, and that is so easy to like mess up one's mind, a good human being, a good person's mind. And if you're like, maybe like you had no money and they bought you things and you're like, but I don't want to hurt them. I feel like I'm hurting them. And they keep on saying I'm hurting them, and look at everything they've done for me and paid for me. Look, that does not mean that anybody owes them anything. You don't know anybody anything. Like, I don't know anybody anything. God made me. And if you offer to buy me something with no strings attached, quote, which always beware of that whole shenanigans. Like, buying you things, showering. At first, it's going to seem like you met your soulmate. They may tell you they're your soulmate. And then you may keep confronting them on issues. And they keep saying, but we're soulmates. But you're my best friend. But you're this. But I bought you this. But what about this, that? Or they may try to respond about your accusations. But you'll notice there's like this slight turn of a knob where it gets blamed essentially back on you, and you may be gaslit by that point and be like, oh my God, they're right. And like then here psychologically, scientifically, fight or flight goes off, freeze goes off, freeze goes off, and once freeze, fight or flight, you're in a different part of your brain. Your brain is now transferred, and you may get like, I know that my throat chakra has closed up and I've gotten stabbing knife pains in my throat, and my chest has closed up. I've gotten stabbing knife pains in my chest. And if you start to feel these bodily emotions when somebody contacts you, this is huge red flags that get away. I know, like, at first it's gonna feel like you're ripping, your skin's being ripped off, possibly. Like, it may feel horrible. It may feel like you're never gonna survive. You may be so full of loneliness or emptiness. But the thing is, that's gonna pass. It's gonna pass. Give it a couple days. I swear to God, by the end of 30 days, you will be a new person if you just keep them no contact. No contact. Even if they come up with new numbers, don't read the message. Block. Because it's just, once you know, you know. And gaslighting, when somebody's gaslighting, it makes you go, but wait, I mean, well, and everything, you may talk it out with a friend, or 3 friends, or 5 friends, over and over, and they're like, girl, boy, whatever you consider, how many times? You know this is wrong. That's what gaslighting does. You may have a therapist. You may have a professional that you're trying to go to, a caseworker, a therapist. You may have a doctor who they may even try to blame. They may even try to say like, well, you are giving mixed messages. They don't understand the science of what gaslighting and trauma bonding. The person is now trying to trauma bond you. They have already probably trauma bonded at this point with you. Because like, they'll buy you things, but then they'll like tell you you owe them. And how dare you do that? How dare you? How dare you set boundaries? And you're like, huh? And then like you go to you need a good therapist. You need people who will listen to your feelings, because your feelings are valid. Repeat that to yourself. My feelings are valid. Say it. My feelings are valid. You may have to write that crap on your refrigerator and like tape it up. Not crap, but it sounds corny. But really, when somebody is gaslighting you, and making you feel like you're responsible now to give everything to them. Oh, you did this for me, now I owe you my life. Be very, very, not just very careful of people like that, but that's like the biggest red flag ever. Is when somebody basically, they make you think you owe them. You owe them everything. You don't owe anybody anything. If somebody bought you something and they knew you didn't, look, I may not have money for it, or maybe it was a gift, it was a present, and then I've had somebody buy me things as gifts, as presents, even as oh, you don't have the money, and they all still, not all, of certain people that came back, and what they wanted from me was me. Basically, it felt like control. It felt like they wanted to put this metal clasp on my throat and drag me back into this cage. And if you feel that way, it is not good. It doesn't matter what somebody buys. They may buy you everything in the world. They may buy you the best shoes you've ever had, the best clothes. They may buy you a computer, a new phone. But if somebody's making you feel horrible, get away. If somebody's not listening to your boundaries and they're making it, they may even pretend to listen to your boundaries, but they keep making, flipping it back on you or giving an excuse, get away. If you're oh, here we go again, get away. Because this is just get away. For your own sanity. Yeah. And so if you feel confused, if you feel scared, if you feel you still love them, you can leave somebody and still love them. That is probably one of the best posts on Instagram I have ever seen. You can love somebody and still leave them. Okay? I'll say it again. You can love somebody and still leave them. You may go through you may go through a mourning process. But I promise it will end. And you need to get back to you and loving you and loving your inner child. And anybody who treats you like crap, and here's one thing that we may do to ourselves as codependents or empaths or just good people is, but what if they change? What if they change? What if they change? What if and I'm abandoning them? I feel terrible. Guess what? They may not change for the next 20 years. It may get worse. Usually the first 3 years are supposed to be the best. That's what my dad told me. And my dad's been married, engaged 4 times and married 3 times. Yeah. When he said that to me years ago, that stuck in my head. I was trying to go back to a psychopath who tried to kill me. Threatened to kill me. Threatened to knock my teeth out. And he's like, Tiffany, what if he doesn't change for 20 years? And here's the thing. You know what? I remember when I was with him. And I remember I was watching TV. And this woman came on Oprah. And her face had been shot off. And I remember just feeling like it was a sign. Like God, if you don't believe in God, the universe was trying to say to me, you need to get out. Look, her face was gone. I know I'm sounding excessively passionate, but I just know what it feels like to feel bad for somebody. and to be like super empathic. They may even say they're empathic and that they're amazing and how amazing they are. They'll probably tell you how amazing they are, how they've done this, this, and that in their life, and you're making a huge mistake. You need just listen to your gut, listen to your feelings. You know what? It doesn't even matter if they've done all that. It doesn't matter if they're not a narcissist. It doesn't matter if they're not a psychopath. It doesn't matter if they're not toxic to other people. If you feel bad around somebody, that's it. Period. Done. Think about it. Think about your inner child. If your inner child's there going, Mommy, Daddy, please help me. Help me. I don't like this man. He's making me feel really weird. You have to listen. Don't abandon your inner child. Don't abandon yourself. There's another term, stand alone. Your experience is your experience. Terrible somehow, ever. And you're just like, no. There's something weird. And you may not even be able to put your finger on it. Listen to that, because there's plenty of people that come off as good people and they are not. And I know to a really good, an empathic, codependent, a really good person, normal people are usually pretty decent, but if something is bothering you, it doesn't even matter if they're narcissistic. If you are unhappy, and if they're if you feel like, I don't even know what's going on anymore, and you feel like you're losing your mind, you're being gaslit probably, and you gotta get away. So I am giving you encouragement. If you don't have support, I'm sending you my support. And I'm telling you, I got goosebumps. But I believe that you can escape this. And I believe in you. And if nobody is there to say they love you, I love you. So, I know you can do this. If somebody's trying to make you feel bad, that's a sign. All right, I love you. I believe in you. You're gonna get through this. There is another side to this. You're a good person. If you're looking this up, you're clearly a good person. Unless you're a troll. I love you. I believe in you. I said it again. Don't listen to the gaslighting. Don't listen to the gaslighting. If it's crazy making, it's crazy making. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know if it's gaslighting. If it's crazy making and you're like, oh, I don't even know what's happening to me anymore. Am I freaking crazy? Crazy making. Even if it's crazy making, get out now. Because it's only going to get worse. All right, I love you. Take care. Mwah.